Hi guys, welcome to this video and to my channel if you're new here. My name's Debbie if you don't know me, and I'm super excited for this video. I've been waiting to do this for a week now, and I'll get into the reasons why it's taken me so long in a moment, but it's my first video with the Jeffree Star Blood Lust palette, as you know from the title. So this is the beautiful packaging, which I'm sure you've seen all over YouTube. I'm probably the last of the game in filming my first video with this palette, but absolutely gorgeous packaging. It's going to sit in my background at the back there on that unit behind me. For my next few videos, I think I've bought a little stand I can prop it up with, and I think it'll look really cute in the background, but really beautiful packaging. The palette, of course, looks like this. I've heard lots of people say that they're either a fan of the velvety packaging because it just feels so luxurious velvet, and some people hate it. I'm in the love it category. I always like the furry palettes from Anastasia as well. I keep my palettes really clean. It doesn't worry me in terms of, you know, it getting dirty. I'm very light-handed with my palettes and keep them quite nice, so I don't think it will worry me too much. But I have heard people say they're not a fan of that. But packaging is beautiful. This crown logo is stunning. It feels like it's a sticker. It's not too raised up, but it feels like it won't come off. It's really nice. And then there's like a ball clasp to open it. Then inside the palette is a really big mirror, and then you've got the shades inside, and it's going to be fun to hold this palette and do a tutorial. But there's a plastic sheet, really thick plastic actually, to protect the shades, which is new for his palettes. And then that's all the beautiful colours inside. So for today's video, I'm going to get a little bit creative with the palette and do something quite dark and kind of goth inspired and very winged out, very Debbie, because that's the sort of look that this palette speaks to me with. I think a lot of people have said it's too light and too pastel, but I really don't think it is when you get it in person and you see it. I think there are some light shades at the top, but I think you need some shade and light in a palette. You don't want everything to be deep. And sure, we could have had like a burgundy red, that would have looked beautiful, but they're available in the Blood Sugar palette, which I already have. So I think if you'd have put those shades into this palette, people would have said, well, they're dupes of shades that he's already done. So, you know, I think in essence, you can't win whatever you do in terms of like trying to create a cohesive colour story, but also that people love. I think when you call a palette Blood Lust, people are expecting it to be deeper and darker. I was expecting maybe some deep navies, deep purples, etc. But I'm not upset with the colour story. I think it's absolutely stunning. I'm going to have arm ache by the end. I'm not going to hold it up like this all the way through. So I'll have to think of a way of showing you the shades that I'm using. Maybe just a picture of the palette on screen and then point to the shades, I think will work better. So I've already primed my eyes. I've used the MAC Painterly Paint Pot as I always do, and done the rest of my makeup apart from my highlight, which I'm going to use a Jeffree Star highlight, but I'm going to use some tape for this look because I really want a nice sharp kind of cat eye wing. So I'm not going to put my highlight on until then, otherwise I'm only going to put it all off when I take the tape off. I've also got the gloss. I've only bought one. I bought Lord Star, so I'm probably going to be using that as well, but I'll put that on at the end because I always like to do the sort of reveal of the look at the end with everything come together. So that's as much as I want to say about the palette. I'm not really the biggest fan of sort of doing reviews. What I want to do is get into playing with it and showing you what you can achieve with the palette and the colour combinations that you might be able to do. So this is going to be my first video doing that, and I'll probably do some more here and there, but I'm going to do this one get ready with my style and just talk to you guys a bit about my experience buying the palette and just where I've been for the last week or so, because it's been a week since I filmed. So I'm going to scoot you in and we'll get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is to apply some tape. I've already taken some of the tack off the tape on the back of my hand, and I'm trying to put it in quite a high kind of wing shape, I suppose, and quite close to my lower lashes, because I always find it so much easier to do a wing when I've got tape, and I'm not sure how much fallout the shade I want to use is going to have. I think that's kind of even, so I'm only going to keep that there until we've kind of achieved the shape though, because it does become quite annoying in the end. Right, the first shade I'm going to go in with is Dungeon. I'm picking that up on a Linda Hallberg 303, and I'm just going to start creating some intensity in that outer corner. and having the tape there allows you not to worry too much about the line you're creating, and you can just really start to pack on the colour. So it's one of my favourite ways to do a winged out shape like this. But as I say, it will peel some of your makeup off, but that's fine, I can sort that out at the end. For a purple shade that's going on super deep and intense, which is great, and I can't see any patchiness there either. It's one of the things that Jeffree seems to excel at, is his purples. The purple in the Alien palette is also really, really good in my opinion, and is a bit more of a blue based purple, and I think that will play really well with the purples in this palette. So I can't wait to mix and match some of these palettes in these sort of tones. And if you guys have been here before, you know that reds, purples and greens are my colours. So when he announced this was going to be a purple palette, I was just so excited. I knew I had to get it. I've been saying that I need to cut down on my purchases. I've got a lot of things to pay for at the moment, but there was no way I was missing out on this. So my experience of buying it, I bought it from Beauty Bay and got it on release day. It sold out on release day on the Friday, so we're talking, what, 8 days ago now that I picked it up. And I think they handled it so much better. I bought the Conspiracy palette, which was one of the most stressful experiences ever. But this one, they put you in a queue, and I was number 5 in the queue. I couldn't believe it. So I got straight on within like a few seconds, and all I picked up was the palette and just the one gloss there, and then some other things that I'll show you in my monthly haul, but nothing else from Jeffree Star. That has gone on. Can you see how like pigmented that is? Just stunning. Loving that already. I'm going to try and pack a bit of sparkle over that with the shade Executioner. And as this is the sort of shade that has glitter in it, but it's a matte with sparkles, I'm going to spray it because I think there'll be a lot of fallout otherwise. So I've just sprayed it with a little bit of Fix Plus just to help with the fall down, but you can already see how much I'm getting all over that tape, so it's quite handy that we've got the tape there. This shade's going to be a pain to work with, I think. They're not my favourite, but it does look pretty, and you can see the sparkle. Even though it's a matte, I would recommend spraying it. You can kind of see the sparkles, but not like loads, but it has deepened up that wing quite considerably, which I'm not mad about. Okay, the next shade I'm going to go into is Blood Queen, and I'm going to pack that down next to the shades we've already laid down, so that Dungeon shade. And I'm just patting and packing at the moment, getting a further to fall out whilst I do it. I'm going to need to be very careful, I think. So I'm just packing that at the moment. I don't want to really try and blend it at all. I'm just packing it to try and really get that intensity down. But for anyone who doesn't think this is a purple enough palette, that is pretty purple. I think this is one of my favourite shades in the palette just from looking at it, this Blood Queen shade. It's just stunning, like that pinky purple. Then I'm going to go into Hiking, and that one's going to go next to it. I'm just going to use a very, very tiny amount of Hiking. And also with Hiking, I'm just going to blend across the top line of that wing. Don't want to take it all the way up to my brow or anything, but I do want just to see a bit of gradient there above it. So I'm using a bullet blending brush, really, really light pressure. I think that worked really, really well using that Hiking just as a blending shade. I'm And do the same on the other eye. Now I'm going to go in with NYX Glitter Primer because I want to prime the inside part of my eye there, because I'm going to put a shimmer there and I want it to pop as much as possible. So I'm just taking that glitter glue just in that portion of my lid that hasn't got any shadow on it at the moment. Yeah, so I got the palette, going back to my story, so I ordered the palette, and the next day delivery, if you spend over £100, because I bought other things as well, I spent £148. Normally next day delivery is free, but they wanted £3.95, and they do this every time that there's a Jeffree Star release. And I'm not all about that, so I decided I wasn't going to pay it and I'll wait, and it'll probably come on Monday anyway. And it was dispatched by Beauty Bay 3 AM on Saturday morning, so I had high hopes I'd get it on Monday. And it was out for delivery with Hermes on Monday, and I was all excited, and then by lunchtime it said your palette has been delayed. And same thing happened on Tuesday and on Wednesday, and I was like, am I going to get this palette? But finally got it Wednesday evening, but I just decided by then I'll wait until the weekend to film my first look. I can go a bit more dramatic when I've not got work, so that's what I decided to do. Right, so I'm going in with Bleeding Heart now. You guys know, if there's a red in a palette, I'm going to be using that red. So let's see how this one performs. It's a weird old formula. Very strange formula. It's sort of crumbly, powdery, but a shimmer as well. Don't know what to make of it at the moment. Beautiful, beautiful colour though. I'm trying to be super precise here. I don't want it blended at all in this inner corner. I want a sharp line there. This brush, the Kaleidos S4, is a really good shape for getting into the inner corner. That's not worked out too badly. I'm going to need to blend it with that middle shade again in a moment, but putting that glitter glue there has allowed me to keep it quite precise, which is what I wanted. Yeah, so since I filmed with the Suva palette, which was last Sunday, I've not filmed anything. I haven't worn makeup actually. I wore makeup on Friday for work for the first time since I filmed that video. I quite often don't wear makeup in the week now unless I'm filming, because I go to work really early and I've got a lot on at work at the moment as well. Just been pretty exhausted, to be honest, so I have 3 days off next week and I'm so excited. I think I'll probably do a Jeffree Star week and just show you guys all the ideas I've got for the shades in this palette, because I'm super inspired by it. As I say, it's my kind of colour story. I'm just trying to keep these two inner shades the same, and I'm having a little bit of trouble just making sure that I've got it even. Nothing to do with the shades of the palette, it's me trying to get that symmetry. Back into that High King shade, I just want to just make sure that I've got a bit of a fade between Bleeding Heart shade and where I've got Blood Queen, which is here. Still trying to keep things quite precise. It's a little bit tricky, but worth it, I think. I quite like having satin shades because you can treat them like they're a matte or a shimmer, so I'm not mad at having that in the palette. It's an unusual formula for sure, but it's a beautiful, beautiful colour. Okay, so the tape can come off. And it's taken a lot of my makeup off, but we will sort that out at the end. But what I'll do is just clean that up now, so I'll just stop off camera, clean up my face a little bit and come back. Okay, I'm back. So I've cleaned up the fallout. Just used a cotton round like this. I just rubbed over it slightly to remove it, applied a little bit more foundation, blended that out and powdered Ideally, I guess you would do your face makeup last and your eye makeup first, but I don't like to do that, particularly not when I'm going to be on camera for so long. So we did it that way and it kind of worked, I think. So in my waterline, I'm going to go in with White Core by Linda Hallberg, one of her core crayons. I want a nice bright white kind of false kind of inner corner. So I'm going to take that all the way along my waterline, and I'm also bringing it into my lower lash. It's gone a bit pink because it's mixing with that white. I'm going to set it with some white in a moment, so it'll be okay. Something along those lines, so like an angular kind of shape there in the corner. So I've cleaned off this bullet brush and I'm going back into Dungeon, which is the shade we used initially for this wing, and I'm going to connect that to the sharp wing that we've got going on and use that to smoke out the lower lash line. And then as I get more towards the corner, I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to use an eyebrow brush to do it. This one's a 333 by Linda Hallberg, so I'm just going to stamp that there. And that's going to let me get super close and precise there. And the same on the other eye. Yes, I've not been doing much makeup, but today I was super inspired to film this, and then I'm going to see my friend later that I've talked about quite a bit, who I'm going to Vegas with, and she's been poorly. She's had an operation and it's the first time I've seen her in 3 weeks, so she wanted to be better enough to see me and didn't want me going around while she was poorly, which I totally understand. But so I'm really looking forward to seeing her. I'll probably scare her half to death with this freaky eye look, but I love looks like this. Alright, I'm going to go in with the shade Deviant because I just want something a little bit lighter. Tapping that off really well, and I'm just going to use that just to blend underneath. That's a pretty powdery shadow as well. I'd forgotten quite how much powder kick up you get with Jeffree Star shadows. And when they're darker shadows like this, it's more noticeable, I think. Okay, to set that inner corner, I'm going to go in with Your Majesty and pack that over that white pencil very carefully because that is quite powdery. It's not perfect because I can see a bit of the red that's fallen down, but ideally I would have had that a lot more white than it is. But quite like how it's turning out. Okay, so that's everything to this point. I'm going to hop off camera for mascara. Don't think I'm going to do any liner because I think we've got enough going on with the sharp kind of edges here, so I don't think I'm going to do wing liner because I just don't want to spoil it, and I think I might. So just mascara and the lip gloss and some highlights, so just all the finishing touches, and then I'll come back and show you the finished look. Okay guys, so here's the finished look for this one. And for highlight, I've gone with Hypothermia, one of the Supreme Frosts from Jeffree Star. I don't have any of the extreme ones because they're only available on the Jeffree Star website, and trying to just buy things from UK based sites and avoid those custom charges, and it was like $50, which I think is so much for a highlight. So let us know from you guys if you've got one of those and whether they're worth the money, but this one's super pretty anyway. So, and it's got that purpliness that kind of pulls out the purple in the wings there. I went with the gloss, which is the only one that I bought, which was Lord Star. I think I'd love to see this look with something a little bit more deep and vampy. In fact, hang on a minute, let's do that and I'll come right back. Hey, is that better? I think so. I just love dark vampy lips, what can I say? I tried to go with more neutral, nudie kind of glossy lips and it's just not really me. So, but I have put a little bit of that gloss just in the centre of this lip. And the lipstick is Nancy from NARS, one of the ones that came out in the Holiday 2018 collection. I've got Nancy and Susie and they're both this gothic kind of vibe, but this one's the darker one, almost like a blackberry black shade, but with that purple gloss over the top, it's giving it a bit of a purple vibe. I think a red lip would have gone really nicely as well if you didn't want to go quite so dark. But that's my first look with the Blood Lust palette. Absolutely adore how it came out. I don't think I felt like so inspired by a palette in the longest time, so expect to see quite a few looks done with this one. Whether I'll do a 3 looks 1 palette or whether I'll just do some looks here and there, mixing this one with other palettes that he's brought out, because I have every one of his palettes. That might be fun. I don't want to do the same things that everyone else has done and replicate too many of the same kind of looks. So this might be out there for a lot of you, but this is the kind of look that I love to wear, particularly on a night out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. So that's me done filming for today, I think, and I'm going to edit this probably later on this evening because I'm going to see Angeline now and take her some Lindors and hope that she gives me some too, because they're my favourites, and have a good old girly catch up on 3 weeks worth of gossip and make sure that she's okay. So I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video, which I'm not quite sure what I'm going to film with tomorrow. It might be with this and with another palette, or it might be something completely different. I haven't quite decided. See how I feel in the morning. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are. And if you're new to my channel, I'd love it if you consider subscribing before you go. But hopefully catch you in the next one. Bye.